Member for Morialta.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I congratulate you on your elevation to this role and note the significance of your being the second woman to hold this position. I also must warn you that there may be a frequent interjector from the gallery, my 5-month-old daughter, Lucia. It's an extraordinary privilege to rise here today as a newly elected member for Morialta. First and foremost, I extend my deepest appreciation to the people of Morialta. Madam Speaker, if you indulge me, I want to speak directly to my community. Thank you for the incredible honour you've bestowed on me. No matter who you voted for, I'm here to represent you. It's not lost on me that I bear an obligation to each and every member of the Morialta community to do just that, and to do so to the best of my ability. I'm deeply honoured by the trust you've placed in me, and I'll do my very best for you. Thank you. Over the past 4 years, and especially during the last 15 months, residents, business owners, community groups and sporting clubs have welcomed me into their lives as a local voice. I've been genuinely touched by people opening up their homes to me, sometimes sharing deeply personal stories, and I hope I've shown my willingness to work hard for our community. I've walked on almost the entire length and breadth of the electorate: McGill, Wardana, Taringi, Woodford, Montacute, Rostrevor, Newton, Athelston, Highbury and Vista. Our electorate covers some of the most spectacular sections of the Adelaide Hills and foothills. The natural environment is truly extraordinary. But as much as I'm captured by the beauty of our community, what I love most is its people and their stories. Decades ago, much of the electorate was market gardens, and our greatest assets was what we grew in the ground. Today, after years of development and migration, our most important assets is certainly our people and the contributions they make across our state. I wanted to get to know them, and the best way was to meet them at their doors. In this very hilly electorate, most of my walking felt like it was uphill, and door knocking was rarely efficient. I sense that this sort of politics, the ability to have a casual chat with elected or prospective representatives, was something people wanted a lot more of. To feel like they knew their representatives, not just a name on a door or a picture on a flyer. I was told on several occasions that I was the first to door knock since Len King or Jennifer Cashmore, former members of Coles. One elderly gentleman said that it must have been 20 years since Len door knocked him. I didn't have the heart to tell him it would have been 50, as Len was elected in 1970. So door knock I did. Early and often, I wanted people to know that they had every right to be heard whenever they had a matter to raise. Even for those who made it clear that they would never vote for me, I genuinely wanted to know their issues and see if I could make a difference. As I said to everyone I met, it is my duty to come to the community, not the other way around. Over the next 4 years, I'll strive to continually ensure I am seeking the views and hearing the voices of Morialta residents. My upbringing gave me a deep connection to this community. Many of you would know that the Morialta electorate is among the most culturally diverse in South Australia. From the early market gardens to the migrants from Abruzzo after World War I, to post-World War II arrivals from the Italian regions of Campania, Calabria, Le Marche and Veneto, to the Greeks and Cypriots. This place has been shaped by migrants and has always welcomed newcomers. More recently, people from China and India have joined our community. I grew up in a household of migrants, uniquely an intercultural household. My father was born in Ascoli Piceno, Le Marche, Italy, during World War II. He grew up poor. His family worked land near Pignano del Tronto. They were contadini, peasants. Dad only finished primary school. As a teenager in the 1950s, he went to Germany to work in a factory near Hanover, not knowing the language. My mother was born in busy Manila, Philippines. Her family was so poor they squatted for shelter until my grandfather found work and moved them to Bulacan. My mother only finished primary school too. She worked to support her family and help care for a sister with Down syndrome. In 1962, as an adult, my dad decided to seek an opportunity to come to Australia, following cousins who had arrived earlier. With no English and no money, he travelled to the city of Napoli, where he would take his last step on his birthland and set foot on the ship named Sydney, formerly known as the HMS Fencer. It was a month-long journey in rough seas with other migrants, all taking a leap into the unknown. That journey changed our family's future. I can't imagine moving somewhere for good, not knowing the language and even leaving everything behind. Dad was a passionate Italian, but he had a dream. Through hard work to build a life much better than the one that he left behind. The day he arrived, the fellow Italian took him to the Holden's factory where he started work just like that. Over the years, he did many jobs, installing electricity wires on transmission towers, concreting, working for the highways department, and then finally working as a council labourer. His brother, then his parents and sister arrived over the years, each on their own journey, but entirely intertwined with each other as a close-knit family. In 1985, my parents married after my mum arrived from the Philippines. They built a family in our home on Harcourt Road, Paynham, a generational household with Nonna Giuseppina and Nonno Giovanni. My sister was born in that same year in 1985. 4 months after her birth, they were expecting me. A happy accident. In 1986, they made one of the most important commitments of their lives, becoming Australian citizens, while I was in Mum's tummy. This was one of their proudest moments, and to this day, on Australia Day, Mum wears the Australian colours with pride to celebrate the home this place has provided. Citizenship also gave them a voice in the community they loved. They were so proud of gaining the right to vote that we still have their very first How to Vote card for Chris Herford and Bob Hawke as leader. I was born on the 19th of November 1986. Growing up, I knew early on that my parents' journey here and their sacrifice was immense. And I saw firsthand how economic strain affected working migrant families. This country provided them an opportunity that their birth countries could not. But hard work alone doesn't afford you freedom. If one is economically constrained, then one simply does not have the freedom to make certain choices for their family. But the unjust reality is that freedom is not afforded to all persons equally until we fight for it. There is only one movement that acts for the benefit of aspirational South Australians and Australians. That is the Labor movement, at both the industrial and political levels. It is our movement that has fought for and won rights and freedoms for the working people of our state and nation. My parents fighting for fair remuneration for their work didn't enable them to live in luxury, but it gave them the ability to make choices. When a universal healthcare system allowed them not to worry about providing basic healthcare for their family, they could turn their attention to supporting their family in other ways that mattered to them. My dad on the Bitchman gang and my mum cleaning the Royal Adelaide Hospital and McGill campus made incredible sacrifices to buy a home and to send my sister and me to private school. Education was important to them because they were never afforded that opportunity in their respective countries. Their decision to send us to private school meant we lived week to week. It meant that we never went on a family holiday, ate out at a restaurant, or had a nice new car. I remember at school everyone had a home phone except for us. As a good Italian, my dad grew everything in the garden. We made our own sauce from our own tomatoes, and Dad made his own wine and grappa. But this was as much a cost-saving measure as a lifestyle choice. Through good governments and their unions, my parents lived in a world where they could choose in the interest of their family to give us what they never had. They could make this choice because they were paid a living wage and had dignity in their work. I know the reason they were able to make those sacrifices was because of their unions and the policies of Labor governments. I can never repay their sacrifice, but I can carry their values and their lessons with me to guide my work in this place. In 2005, when I was 18, my father passed away after a 2-year battle with lung cancer, which we suspected was from asbestos exposure at his workplace. He was professionally and expertly cared for by Mum's colleagues in the hospital, but he never got to enjoy the fruits of his lifetime of labour. My dad wisely invested in superannuation before it became compulsory, and the money he saved through the scheme allowed our family to pay off the house and allowed us to pay our bills comfortably. My dad was a proud Australian Workers' Union member, and my mum is a proud United Workers' Union member, because rights at work matter, and because their advocacy allows workers to have dignity in their work, and importantly, in their family life. The rights of working people today have only been won through unions and workers fighting together. I bring my recognition of that fact to all that I do. My upbringing isn't unique. It tells a familiar story, one that many in our community share. It's one of hardship and sacrifice for future generations. Whether we're migrants or not, we share the same motivations. We work hard, we get ahead, and strive to create a better future. Residents tell me they want someone to stand up for them and give them a little help. They also want to make sure that their children and grandchildren live in a better society, and they're willing to work hard to achieve this. That is why I put up my hand for this role, because I share this perspective and because all my life I've seen these ideas in action. We need governments that stand up for us, give us a voice, governments that provide working people with the economic mobility that affords them choice, while building a fair and safe society, a society with opportunity, quality healthcare and education. Opportunities like the ones my parents sacrificed everything to make sure I had. Opportunities that the Labor-Malinowskis government will keep working our guts out to deliver. In reaching this milestone of a first speech to Parliament after a long time in Labor politics, there are many people I need to thank. In fact, I embark upon this part of my speech with some trepidation, knowing how much I'm asking all of you to sit through it. But every single person I'm about to mention has helped put me here today and deserves every bit of thanks I can offer. First and foremost, my mum and dad. My dad, Marozzi, gave me the passion for politics. He was a staunch Labor man, never a party member, but devoted. At home, we only talked about the things you weren't supposed to talk about, politics and religion. Dad would never vote against Labor because to him that meant voting against working people. Since he passed 20 years ago, not an hour goes by without me thinking of him. I know he's here, he is here with me, and throughout the campaign I felt his presence. So many people told me they remembered my dad, whether in the Italian community, soccer, his former workmates, or the harness racing industry. It's an honour to do this alongside my dad, who I know is right here in the chamber with me. I hope you are proud that your son is a Labor member, the first person of Italian heritage to represent Morialta, and perhaps the first Marchigiano in the South Australian Parliament, if not the nation. To that end, I give my thanks for the support of the Marche Club, with Cavaliere Cathy Papandrea, Robert Ciuffli and Angela Travaglini, some here today. I'm also proud to recognise Italian-Australian community leaders like Cavaliere John De Fede, Cavaliere Domenico Zolo, and South Australian Multicultural Commission Chair Louisa Greco, some of whom are present today as well. If Dad gave me my passion, my mum gave me my temperament. My mum, Rosalina or Sally to most, is a person who smiles and says hello to everyone. She's genuinely happy to see people and always tries to help. I'm grateful to my mum for instilling these qualities in me. She's incredibly friendly, generous with her time, and everyone loves her spring rolls too. It's amazing that my mum is the mother of the first Filipino person elected to any parliament in Australia. Given the Filipino community is the 5th largest migrant community in the country, that is surprising. It's an incredible responsibility and a deep honour, and I hope it inspires more Filipino Australians to seek leadership roles in their communities. My sister Veronica and I are incredibly fortunate to have been raised by 2 people who gave us more than most people could. My sister Veronica has always grounded me like most older siblings do. She's a wonderful supporter and I'll always be grateful for her love and encouragement. When my parents came together, it was a mix of 2 cultures, but with a foundation in faith, Catholicism. A faith that has guided me throughout my life and given me a keen awareness of social justice, particularly honed at St. Joseph's School, Payneham and Christian Brothers College. The greatest thing that ever happened to me was meeting Catherine, to her family. She's the love of my life and my greatest supporter. She deals with my insecurities and gives me the love and confidence to put myself forward. She brings joy into my life. The joy she brings to my life is beyond description. She's the smartest and most beautiful person I know, and there's never a moment I don't want to be with her. She truly lifts me up. I love her dearly. Without her, I wouldn't be here. She made the biggest sacrifice for our family. During pregnancy during the campaign is not ideal, especially with the horrendous nausea Kate endured throughout, as well as the newborn trenches. I can never repay her sacrifice, but I'll spend my life trying. We welcomed our precious daughter Lucia on December 18. I never truly understood unconditional love until then. She's probably sick of me staring at her, but she still smiles back for now. We're both completely obsessed. She brings joy we never knew before, joy we could not have imagined until she made us a family. She's growing up too fast, but I can't wait to experience life with Lucia and Kate. She's also my inspiration for our community's future. I want the best for her, and for her to live in a community where everyone has a chance to succeed. I thank my family who are always there for us. My Lola Juliana, Tonog in the Philippines, and Lolo Sosimo. Zio Gilda Fazrano, the cleaner. Zio Tony, the concreter. Zio Filippo Marozzi, the sheet metal fabricator. And I'm proud to see a lot of BE switchcraft switchboards built here and around Parliament here. Dear Maria, cleaner. Auntie Rebecca Cooper, childcare worker. Uncle Brian, a painter. Auntie Ruby Sipos, a cleaner. Uncle David, a truck operator. And my cousins in Adelaide, Clem, John, Pina, David, Julia, Steve, Jessica, Nicole, Nicholas, Stephanie, Ava, Marcus, Kai, Koa. And also to my second cousins, Sapadna and Angela. And of course, Kate's parents, Judy Barber, Gilbert Sayre, and his partner, Karen. We're also close to Kate's sister, Tessa Sayre, and her partner, Ryan Horsnell, our nephew, Billy, who also calls me Dil Map Map, and my niece, Layla. They were all incredible support for our family while I was campaigning. My family is my base and foundation. They keep me grounded in the real world. Of course, my political family has also supported me throughout this journey. I truly thank one of my oldest friends from CBC, Michael Yamaroni, for bringing me into the Labor Party in 2007. We worked as a team for Tom Kenyon in 2010 and 2014 elections. I learned so much from him and wouldn't be here in this position without him. Tom Kenyon was my first mentor, and he always said this would be a long apprenticeship. In my case now, over 16 years since I began with him. He gave me a start showing me how to campaign and what it meant to serve the community. My next mentor was Senator Annette Hurley, one of the brightest minds I've worked for. She was always poised, thoughtful, and deeply loyal to Labor unity. That short time with Annette was formative and connected me to great political minds within the party, such as people like Don Farrell. When she retired, it led me to one of my longest periods of employment with Senator Alex Gallagher. Alex was principled and unwavering. He taught me to take a stand. As Secretary of the Transport Workers Union, he was passionate about supporting workers he represented. He left an incredible legacy, especially in road safety. Alex was one of my biggest supporters in politics. I miss him dearly and appreciate the support of his wife, Paola. When Alex died, I was also incredibly supported by Senator Morialta Smith and appreciated the generosity and friendship she offered during that time. Ian Smith from the Transport Workers Union is another person gone too soon who I miss dearly, a rank and file member who went on to lead the union. He always put workers first and was an incredible supporter of mine. In 2021, I had the pleasure of working with Premier Peter Malinauskas, someone who'd always put working people and the community first. Throughout my time in the party, he has set a standard for us, leading by example with his genuine care for people and passion to get things done. Whether it's a local issue or a generational outcome for the state, he listens, considers, and acts. I'm incredibly grateful to have worked for him and to have had his support in 2022 and 2026. I also want to thank John Bistrovic and the whole team in the Premier's office for their dedication and work for South Australians. I'm proud to call so many in that office friends. More recently, the member for Ramsay, Zoe Beddison, has been an incredible support. Her commitment to the multicultural community is immeasurable, and I'm fortunate now to have her as a colleague. I endorse the wonderful words she spoke in her member's address in reply speech, naming the wonderful staff that we had. She's a great friend and was a great boss who built one of the best teams I worked with. I also thank those who guided me along the way. Nympha Farrell, Peter Gonis, Susie Trifunovic, Rosie Falco, Chad Buchanan, Brendan Patchett, Diana Zollo, Pauline Gambley, Peter Gatenbeek, Daisy Miller, Theodora Mayos, Josephine Hilliard, Rebecca Vanderpeer, and all the incredible public servants too. Too many to mention. These are people from whom I learned how to be an effective representative and how to fight for working people like my family. I wouldn't be standing here before you if it weren't for the constant pestering of two people who wanted me to run. Before I saw my own potential, the member for Taylor and the Honourable Reggie Martin believed in me. Prior to 2022, Nick was completely unfazed by the Liberals' 9.4% margin in Morialta and thought I had what it took to eventually gain the support of the community. I thank them both for encouraging me to put my name forward. I still owe Nick a bottle of rum for the 2022 result, maybe the finest bottle of Malibu. My 2022 campaign was mostly just my family and me, but 2026 was different. For the 2026 campaign, I had an incredible team led by David Griffiths. Being the first candidate pre-selected for 2026 meant I could have exactly what I wanted, which was to have David on board from the start. It's a tough job for a campaign manager. They have to work even harder than the candidate, and David truly did. He's organised, strategic, and above all, deeply committed. He's the best campaigner in the country, no doubt about it. David joins a short list of Labor campaign managers who've won Morialta, a list of 2 people now, one of whom is the Premier, Peter Malinauskas. I can't thank David enough, but more importantly, I'm proud to call him a friend. I was lucky to have key support from Ben Anker, my Deputy Campaign Manager, who always gave 100%, and who I'm proud to have in the office along with Amanda and Federica. Thank you also to good friends such as Matt Burnell MP, the Honourable Emily Burke, Senator Muriel Smith, the Honourable Tung No, the Honourable Claire Scriven, the Member for Dunstan Cressida Hamlin, Claire Clutterham, the Member for Sturt, former Senator Chris Schott, my other Deputy Campaign Manager Mario Fadone, Shay Wortley, Patrick Pyle, Peter Field, Will Sheffers, Antonio Larizza, Ellie Venning, Sav Lee, Carmel Zolo, Susan Dorr, Ben Rillo, Bill Hackett, Lachlan Priest, Amajit Grul, Tanish Manivel, Mark Ferguson, Alex Overley, Paul DeCizio, Anthony Close, Grace Franco, Liam Quirk, Sonia Romeo, Luke Sfregnuto, Mel Jones, Andrew Tronolona and Suzanne Kellett. Also, Simone McDonald and Manny Christian for their help in the 2022 campaign. I can't thank you all enough for your incredible support. Morialta is bordered by several electorates, but I was especially close with the member for Newland and the member for Hartley. Olivia has been a close friend for years and a wonderful mentor, especially during this campaign. She's been an incredible support for our shared communities and is a steadying presence when I felt the dreaded political anxiety that we all suffer here from time to time. It always seemed to rain when we wobble boarded together, but those wet, cold mornings doubled as my therapy session as well. Thank you, Olivia. I also thank the member for Hartley for being the best candidate partner. Morialta and Hartley share so much in common. Candidates must support each other, and we campaign together on almost everything. It was a bit awkward too, given I'm literally best mates with Vincent Tarzia, the former member for Hartley. But Jen is also a dear friend. She's a remarkable person, and Hartley is lucky to have her as their representative. I'm looking forward to working with both members on issues facing our communities. Common purpose is central to the Australian Labor Party. I thank every party member for supporting our common purpose. Within the Labor Party, I draw my strength and support from Labor Unity. To everyone in Unity, thank you for all you do. Two unions in particular have backed me throughout this journey. The SDA, led by Josh Peake and Jordan Mumford. Josh has supported me since our days at Young Labor and is doing a terrific job leading all South Australians working in retail and warehousing. I was proud to stand with colleagues to support workers and our community, including advocating for free parking at Tea Tree Plaza. The union also recently fought to make Easter Sunday a public holiday and has been steadfast in ensuring workers are safe and fairly paid. The other is the Transport Workers Union, led by Sam McIntosh, a great leader and friend. This union supports workers who keep the country moving, especially those sharing their workplaces with the public. Recently, they fought hard for unfair sack Qantas workers, achieving one of the most significant judgments in support of workers. I thank you to both unions, their staff, and especially their members. As a campaigner, I've learnt from the best, especially the Honourable Amanda Rishworth, the Honourable Emily Burke, Eamon Burke, and the Honourable Reggie Martin. In both this campaign and the last, Eamon Burke and the Honourable Reggie Martin led us so capably, along with their teams. These incredible people led one of the greatest operational campaigns across 2 elections. I thank them all. Being a party member since 2007, Young Labor has been a big part of my journey, and I'm proud to have shared it with such committed people, especially my cohort, the new members for Port Adelaide, Lee, Light and Torrens. Young Labor is the best place to learn to serve the community. I thank the current generation for their hard work and commitment, especially during this campaign. It is a pleasure to be able to thank a predecessor so admirable as the former member for Morialta, the Honourable John Gardner, for his service to our community and in education. John has earned the title Honourable not just for his achievements, but for how he's conducted himself over 16 years. I look up to his service and will seek to reach the bar that he has set. Thank you as well to Scott Kennedy for the campaign he ran and the respect he showed me throughout. I'm also grateful for his service to the community through the CFS. I wish John and Scott all the best for their future endeavours. Like many here, I was gratified by how all the candidates got along during the campaign and thank them for putting up their hands to serve. It'd be remiss not to mention Vincent Tarzia, the former member for Hartley, for his 12 years of dedicated service. He's been a committed local member, speaker, minister and leader. We grew up together, St Joseph's Payneham, altar servers at Our Lady Queen of Peace Church, footy at Payneham Nord Union. I was his best man and godfather to Leonardo. I wish him all the best in his new career, and I hope he enjoys more time with Carissa, Leonardo, and Raphael. It's one of the great things about our country. Two boys can grow up together, take opposite political paths, and still remain best friends. That's how I approach life in this place too. We may disagree, but we can do so respectfully and still get along because all we want is the best for our communities. As I conclude my first speech, I hope it's clear how many people have lifted me up throughout my life. I truly feel loved and supported. I will use that strength to serve the community to the best of my ability. But also know, no matter how long we serve here, it's a relatively short time in the scheme of things. I won't lose focus on that, especially with future generations depending on our actions. So in whatever time I have here, I'm here to get things done for my community and its people, and I am inexpressibly grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.